Okay, guys, it's gonna be a quick update. The price dropped, so I'm gonna show you what I'm expecting. I'm gonna give you some macro targets and some smaller price targets if you want to swing trade. So this is a video I put out on November 27th. I'll put a link up to the video now if you want to check it out. I was talking about this chart. We're gonna cover this as well. This was about 9 minutes and 53 seconds in. Listen to what I said. So look, if you get access to the charts, like I can tell you right now, this is going to be your next major support. When we hit this point, this is where I'm going to buy. It's going to be one hell of a bounce, and this is going to be the next point you want to buy. I make more money on the way down than the way up because I swing trade, guys. When we hit this point, I know we're going to get a bounce. It's going to be a lot of support. This is a lot of support. This is double support. So you get a hell of a bounce here, and this ring is going to be a hell of a bounce as well. So I give you different charts. If you sign up to the charts, I give you charts for macro targets, G1, E1, J1, K1. We're going to cover some of those. And then I give you charts for smaller targets, the H1 and C1. We're going to cover those as well. But I told you if we drop down, I said this is likely a point to buy in. And you can see how this played out. You know, when we broke this support, I told you head and shoulders was playing out. Once you broke 53,976, we dropped down to this point. We dropped sooner, but you can see this was a lot of support. So had you bought at 43,175, I mean, you're in profit now. And again, if you go back and you understand how the charts work, I have all your support and resistance levels already mapped out. So if we pushed up, you can see when we broke 53,976, we came down. So look, now your resistance is going to be this yellow line. So if we pushed up, we could consolidate. We could do something like this, and then go back and forth. I do think it's more likely to break to the downside. Anything's possible, guys, but remember, I'm also using the U.S. markets as an indicator for the direction of the price of Bitcoin. But I do think it's likely we could consolidate here for a bit. I'm going to cover a few other things. Notice it's kind of hard to see. This right here is a fib circle. Let me zoom out a bit. So right here on this ring, if I move this, you can see this all the same fib circle right here. So, and I copied this in another chart, so I'm going to show you the confluence where it matches that target I gave you around 10,000 to 14,000. But notice this was support, resistance, support, we broke this ring, and then we came down to the next ring of support. Resistance, support, support, so likely when we break this, we come down to the next ring. Well, that next ring just so happens to be where I gave you that target for that 80% correction. We're going to cover that in just a bit. But remember, your current strongest support on the G1 chart right now to watch is right here at 45,500. If that breaks, your next support level below is going to be, let me zoom in a bit, right here around 43,727. Very important support level. Once that breaks, candle open below it, at least on the daily, expect much more downside. So I wish I could make a video every day, twice a day, but it takes time to do these videos. But I did make a tweet on December 2nd. And originally I was saying, if it happened sooner, if we did push up, watch 63K to be the top. Talking about, and we're going to cover this green line here. Very strong resistance. But I said since so much time had passed, we're getting so close to this ring, already forming our right shoulder, it seemed less likely that we'd push up to this point, and that's what I said. Sorry to say, but I think too much time has passed and we're too close to the next ring on the K1 chart for that upside target 63K to be hit. In my opinion, it's sideways and down from here. Not telling you when to sell, maybe just have a stop loss. But again, so it's less likely we push up to this point, more likely we would start moving sideways and down. And that is how it played out. This is another video, guys. I just go in detail about this chart if you want to watch it. It's December 1st. I'll put a link up to it now. So let me show you what I'm expecting, and this is the ring. So let me show you this. So this ring right here, this one I'm talking about, this ring that we just broke, right, and came down. I copied this fib circle onto this chart, and you can see this is what I was talking about here. And remember, this chart, look, back here on the 26th of March, 2019, this is where we pumped from. We formed this head and shoulders, right? We dropped down, notice we pumped at this ring right here. We got caught in this channel, support, pumped at this ring, head and shoulders, crossed this ring, dropped to support, next ring we dropped down to support. And this happened to be right at the 300 weekly moving average. So I think the same thing's playing out. I've talked about this before. This is where we pumped from back on the 4th of October, 2020. We pushed up, got caught in the head and shoulders, broke down, pump at this ring. Got caught in this channel, resistance, support, pump at this ring. Got caught in the head and shoulders. We dropped at this ring, came down to form our right shoulder. We broke the ring and we came down. And I was telling you on that chart, what happens is you go from ring to ring. So we broke down from this ring, found support on this ring. So if we break it, our next point to come down, I'm going all over this, hold on. So my point is, we broke this ring right here. Then we found support on this ring right here. So if we continue down, look where this next ring is. Let me move this so you can see it's the same fib circle here, right? All the same fib circle. So again, I told you your next ultimate target is going to be this next ring right here. Look at the confluence, guys. We bottomed on the 300 weekly moving average. That's what this arrow is right here, right? So you have not only where we pumped from back here in October 2nd, 2020. This is, I'm saying, just like in 2019, we dropped to where we pumped from, right? So if we come down, this would be your target. You have this ring here, and you have the 300 weekly moving average right around this area. That's a lot of confluence between 10,000 and 14,000. Now, when's the next drop? Well, again, we could consolidate, like I said, on the G1 chart. So it seems like it is very possible. Again, this is where we broke 52,721. So if we do consolidate and move sideways, I do expect every time we make contact with this ring, it's going to send us down further. So now, this is the daily. If we go sideways, we're looking at 11 days, depending on where price is at. Price is higher, it's going to hit sooner. So 10 days to potentially, 11 to 12 days. So we're talking December 17th before we make contact with this this ring to send us further down. But I do believe that we are headed down to these targets I gave you. There's just too much confluence down here. Not to mention there's a gap on the CME futures. But then I do think ultimately we're headed to 10,000 to 14,000. And remember, follow the markets, guys. I've been covering the U.S. markets. Watch previous videos. I'm expecting a lot of downside for the Dow and the other markets as well. So let's get into this. So guys, I do give you charts. I try to give you charts on the macro targets, in different ways to look at it. So, the J1 chart, these are downside targets. We start dropping. We know that if we break, well, this is resistance right here. This trend line was resistance. We pushed above it. It's actually below it now. This should hold as support. We can push back up as resistance, drop down as support. But if this breaks, my point is, these are your points to watch. If we break 46,084, well, we know that our next support level is around 29,616. So again, I give you macro charts, and we're going to cover the more smaller targets and show you your closest support and resistance levels. So right here, this is a tweet I made. Again, you gotta have access to my charts, get access to our Discord and Twitter. But I said next major support that needs to hold is the white line on the K1 chart. And you can see, once that broke, down it came. And, I keep you guys updated. We dropped 16 hours ago. We dropped down to 53,500. And the next candle open was right at this support level. So, yeah, it dropped down. You don't exactly know where to buy. But when it pushed back up, this is how you play it. A candle opened right on this line. And then I made it updated. So it looks like a battle between C1 and H1. So, we were at support on the C1 chart right here at 53,450, but we had resistance on the H1 chart. So we were holding support here and resistance here. So either it was going to break to the upside or we're going to break the support and come down. And you can see how it played out. And the wind goes to H1. So you can see we found support and then we broke it because we cannot get above this very strong resistance on the H1 chart. So again, I do keep you guys updated. But again, I took the time to map out the direction of price. So your support and resistance levels are already mapped out for you. You know where to get in and get out. And thus, if you have access to them, you access them 24/7. So I don't have to make a video or a tweet. Once you learn to play the charts, you know potentially when to buy and sell. You see right here, this is the support we broke on the C1 chart at 53,549. And notice we came down, we dropped all the way to this line. And the reason that we stopped, now we could have stopped anywhere, but the reason we stopped at this line, the way I create these charts, these fib channels below are based on these fib channel lines above that price is respecting. So when I create these fib channels and it matches the channels up here, this is a target. This is a Fibonacci number. That's why we dropped to this point. We found perfect support. So had you been if you had these charts open, if you had this chart open here, the G1 chart, and we came down to this point, this is a strong support level that should hold. If we push it back, above it, 43,324. So if you had that chart open, you had this chart open, you notice we came down, we stopped right here. That is telling you, hey, that is a point we bottom to buy in to ride it back up. And had you done that, you could have ridden this up a total of 16%. That's a lot of damn profit. So let me give you your current support and resistance levels. And again, always look left, guys. You can see this line right here. You can see this is a lot of resistance here. Right here, resistance, pushed above it. So we know if we drop, let's see where we are now. So that is your next support level below right here. So if we drop down, you know, this is next support level to watch, 44,682. It's at an angle, depends on when you hit it, what the price will be. Your current support right now on the C1 chart, we're currently holding at double support, 46,217. The resistance we need to go above right now is right here at potentially 47,776. And guys, just go back and look, and you can see the line that's been tested the most right now is this one. Look how much support and resistance. You got support, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. I mean, resistance, support, resistance. It's respecting the hell out of this this line right here. So you know, if you push up, you're gonna get a lot of resistance, you know, right here. So if we get up, next point to possibly get rejected, it's right here, 49,832. But again, guys, that's how you play the charts. You know, if you get above 47,776, next point to watch to short would be 49,773. And if we drop, you know, look at this line right here. You can see this has been even more support and resistance. This is where I told you potentially. This is where I told you to get out at 66,800. Resistance, 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 resistance. Flipped as support. So we know that if we drop, this line will be respected. You know, so if we drop below where we bottomed at 42,089. Your next support level is right here at 40,292. If it's out here, you know you're going to catch a bounce at 38,656. Just trying to show you how to play the charts, guys. This is the H1 chart. If you'll notice, we found support right here at 45,845. Why? Well, again, this is another version. It's charted a different way. That's why it's good to refer to both charts. But resistance, resistance, resistance. Notice this blue line was a lot of support. We pushed above it, right? We pushed up. So we know that if we drop down, since this line was a lot of resistance, well, that's why this is support right now. And if we push up, you know, you can tell that this line was a lot of support, 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 support. So you know you're going to get very strong resistance right here at 49,134. Again, that's how you play it. If you get above that, well, your next major resistance is 52,700. And if we drop, your next support level to watch, you know, 43,334. And again, just like I said, right here, resistance, 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 support, support. So if we drop down, where's your next support level to watch to catch a bounce? Right here. And I will be updating this chart. If price continues down, I need to add more fib channels. You can see these fib channels going horizontal. I update these charts as price moves along. So if we get down into this area, I'll give you more targets. So I'll be updating that soon for the H1 and the C1 chart. But again, just trying to show you how to play these charts, guys. So just remember, it is possible we could consolidate. You know, we did find support here. We pushed back up, so you know we could do something like this until the point where I don't believe we'll break to the upside. I believe that we have a lot of downside in the stock market. So again, you know, once we break, you know, this support here, 43,792, or if it's out here, 45,200, I expect much more downside. But it does play along with this chart right here. This chart, again, within the next potentially, you know, 10 to 11 days, when we make contact with the ring, I expect further downside, which again, way too much confluence between 14K and 10K. I think that's where we're headed. But guys, you can access these charts. The website is optimarkcrypto.com. Link pinned in the first comment in the description. I got stocks. The $49 a month is Bitcoins, altcoins, precious metals, Discord, and Twitter. And these tutorials teach you the method of charting I came up with, so you can create these charts for yourself if you like, or at least understand why they're so accurate. All right, guys, that's it to the next video. I'm out. Trade safe, trade smart.